Now, so before I dive straight into corrective action reporting, let's just review the contents of your standard. So I would assume you are certified to QMS, the ISO 9001:2015. So this is the quality management system, okay? The quality management system. So your quality management system contains all these requirements, okay? It's actually broken into two parts. Clause 1, 2, 3 is the first part. These are not requirements, by the way. The requirements start from clause 4 up to clause 10. So these are the requirements. All right. So you should already know what is context of the organization, leadership, planning, support, operation, performance evaluation, improvement. Now, if you're not yet familiar with all of this, watch out for our succeeding webinars. We'll talk in details about what are these requirements, because today our topic is about corrective action reporting. And if you place all these requirements in a plan, do, check, act cycle, I'm sure you've heard of that also, but just in case you haven't heard of PDCA, PDCA is plan, do, check, act. If you put all those requirements in a PDCA cycle, it would look like this, all right? It would look like this cycle, this one, all right? So it looks like this. So the requirements are now spread across the PDCA cycle. Okay. Again, these are the requirements. So regardless of whether you're implementing environmental management system, occupational health and safety, they look identical. They have the same structure. So let me just quickly go through this. So as I've mentioned, the requirement starts from clause 4, right? Clause 4. And then followed by clause 5, leadership, clause 6, planning, 7 and 8, performance evaluation, and finally clause 10. So you have to complete all these requirements for you to be eligible for ISO certification. Let me repeat that. For you to be eligible for ISO certification, you need to complete this cycle. And even if you're ISO certified already, you still have to continuously run this cycle, by the way. And you may also analyze it like this. So let me explain it further before we dive into corrective action reporting. You may also analyze it like this. No? In this model, this PDCA cycle. This one here on your left, this is actually your input. Okay, so these are all the inputs, right? So this is where you start. And the one on the right, this would be your, I'm really a terrible artist. So let me just erase that. Okay, so the one on your right, let me try to draw an imaginary straight line there. There you go. It's my OC in me that is kicking in right now. So this is your output. Okay, this is your output. So input, output. All right. So of course the one in the middle is your process. So it's basically, you know, simple process engineering. You have input, you process the input, what you get are output. Okay, so in your ISO 9001, our objective always is this output. The output would be, of course, the results of your QMS. The quality of your products and services should be, of course, checked. Your customer should be satisfied. So that's the output of your quality management system. A lot of people ask me, Sir Joe, why do we really have to go for ISO? What's in it for us? Well, ISO is really about making sure that the results of your system are of course, meeting quality standards. And of course, most importantly, you satisfy your customers. So now, for you to be able to do that, you need to run the system in the middle. So this is the system, okay? This is the system, the plan, do, check, act cycle. So, all right, so simply stated, that's how this ISO 9000 works, and I hope you get that. So even if it's ISO 14, which is environmental, or ISO 45, which is occupational health and safety, it is the same input, output, process in between. Did you get that? Following all these requirements. Clause 4 would be context. What are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats? Who are your interested parties? What's your policy? How do you conduct risk assessment? What are the resources needed? How do you audit? And finally, how do you improve? All right. Again, this is like a 30,000 feet overview of what ISO 9001 is all about. Of course, there's so many details being underneath this one. So, but that's going to be another story. Now, since our topic today is about corrective action reporting, okay, corrective action reporting. Why are we talking about corrective action reporting today, by the way? We receive a lot of feedback from all of you asking, Sir John, can we also focus one of our discussions during the webinars on corrective action reporting? Okay, and so here you go, all right? So corrective action reporting. Now, where can we find corrective action reporting in this format? Okay, like I said, corrective action reporting is usually conducted after internal audits or at any time in the implementation of your system. So corrective action reporting is actually found here on clause 8. Okay, you'd be surprised. And then of course clause 10. So this is where corrective action reporting is found. No? So again, so it's let me explain that in details, no? In further details. Corrective action reporting is of course under clause 10, which is talking about improvement. How do we improve it? That's when corrective action report comes in. Now, well, first of all, you need to understand this, clause 8.7. So let me just go into details right now. All right. So are you ready? All right. Let's go to details right now. I know it's a Friday, all right, and I'm so glad that all of you are here. You're learning every week on ISO, so that's wonderful. Keep it up, keep it up. We have 76 people in the webinar right now. Let me see. Okay, there's still more in the waiting room. Let me just quickly admit them. All right, there you go. So now, so there are two parts here. So first is 8.7. Can you see this? 8.7, control of non-conforming outputs. 8.7. All right, so it's found right here in clause 8. And I'll explain to you later, this is actually called correction. Okay, correction. Because there's a huge difference, my friends, between correction and corrective. Probably for some of you, you must have heard of the difference already, but for those who are new to this corrective action reporting, there's a huge difference, okay? There's a feedback here from Sir Rommel Ross. Very nice overview, Sir John. Many thanks. You're welcome, sir. Always my pleasure. So again, this is correction, all right? 8.7 correction. Now the other one, the corrective action reporting actually comes here. So right here, this is corrective action reporting, all right? So these two are different, correction, and then the other one is corrective, okay? You might have thought that the difference is only in the spelling, but these two are actually different. So correction and corrective, all right? So let me use my annotation again. So this is corrective. So corrective action reporting, or we call it CAR, all right? Sometimes it's funny because the process owners are competing as to how many cars do they have. So automobiles, for example, but CAR stands for corrective action report, all right? So let me repeat that. Correction is 8.7, okay? While corrective action reporting is 10.2. It's found right here in clause 10. Did you get that? So now I will dive further into this so that you'd understand what's the difference. So there's a big difference between correction and corrective. And corrective action reporting is basically composed of 3 different stages. So first is correction, followed by root cause analysis, and then lastly, corrective action report. So I'll explain that to you one by one. So there's a question here from Miss Luisa Barreto of Lieco 3. What's the difference between non-conformance report form and corrective action report form? Okay, I'll answer that. Basically, it's the same, all right, Miss Luisa, because the non-conformance report contains all the non-conformities, the non-fulfillment of a specified requirement. These details of non-conformities are also found in the corrective action report form. However, in the corrective action report form, it already contains the root cause analysis. I'll go back to that, okay? Luisa, please remind me. All right, please remind me to get back to that. Now, so moving on. So let's continue with my slides right here. So is this clear? Correction is 8.7. Corrective is 10.2 because those two are actually different. Okay, now, so like I said, the corrective action report is broken down into 3 parts: correction, root cause analysis, and then corrective. So let me first show you the correction part. Okay, so 8.7 again is correction. All right, correction. So Sir John, what's the difference between correction and corrective? Okay, so this is correction. Let me define first what is correction. This is stated by ISO 9001. So control of non-conforming outputs. So when we say control of non-conforming outputs, by the way, non-conformity is defined by ISO 19011 as the non-fulfillment of a specified requirement. Let me repeat that. First, let's be clear here. What is a non-conformance? A non-conformance, this one, non-conformity or non-conformance, is non-fulfillment of a specified requirement. Okay, so the key word there is requirement. So take note, in your office, in your organizations, there will be requirements. A requirement can be a policy, a procedure manual, maybe a work instruction, maybe a memorandum circular, whatever that is. Those are requirements. And once those are not fulfilled, even customer requirements, of course, is a requirement, customer specification. When these things are not fulfilled, they become nonconformities, right? They become nonconforming outputs. All right. And I bet you have quite a number of nonconforming outputs in your offices, in your organization. So when there are non-conforming outputs in your organization, what do we do there? We correct them. That's why you can see right away here, there's a correction. You correct them, okay? So let me just quickly read this, 8.7.1. The organization shall ensure that the outputs that do not conform to the requirements are identified and controlled to prevent, see, their unintended use or delivery. So how do you take appropriate action, okay? You shall take appropriate action on these nonconformities. All right, so you correct it, you either segregate it, you contain it so that it's not used, or so it's not delivered if you're a product-oriented organization, or you return it, or you suspend the service, and then you inform the customer, by the way, Mom, there's something wrong with the product, or there's something wrong with the service, there's an error in the report that we gave you, if you're issuing certification, and of course you obtain authorization for acceptance, that they're accepting the correction. Okay, so I'll give you an example. This is a very basic example. You'll probably laugh at this. Let's say from where you're sitting right now. All right, I don't know where you're sitting. Maybe you're at home working. Maybe you're in the office on a skeletal force. Let's say there's a fire that broke out just right in front of you. Just a fire broke out, or maybe you're in a conference room right now, and all of a sudden there's fire. Okay, what do you do? What will you do? All right. You can type in the chat box. What will you do if there's a fire just right in front of you, or maybe you're in a meeting right now, or you're watching this webinar in the conference room, all of a sudden there's a fire. What are you going to do? Okay, I'm still waiting for answers. There you go, from Sir Romy Tuazon. Thank you, sir. Put out the fire. There you go. Very good, sir. Use fire extinguisher. Okay. Or from Ma'am Janice, call the rescue team. Very good. From Ma'am Grace Pastor, press fire alarm. Or, okay. Sir Joben, I like your answer. Plan for evacuation. From Ma'am Annie Paredes Ornilio, don't panic and think what you do. From Rayson Ruiz, alert everyone. You know what caught my attention? Thank you so much for your answers. But what caught my attention was the answer of Sir Joben. According to Sir Joben, a plan for evacuation. Okay, I like that answer. Okay, now here, look. We're talking about correction here, okay? We're from Ma'am Rosa, stay calm. I like that. Okay. Earlier, when there was an earthquake here, I don't know if I was calm. I spilled my coffee, to be honest with you. Okay, now let me go back. Okay, we're talking about correction here. So when there's a fire, what's your correction? The correction here, you're correct, is to put off the fire right away. Use fire extinguisher. That's your correction. Okay, that's your correction. Did you get that? So correction, in other words, is an immediate solution to a nonconformity. Considering here, for example, that our nonconformity is the fire. So correction, ladies and gentlemen, is an immediate solution to a nonconformity or a problem. Okay, that's correction. So that's why I would like to redirect the answer, some of your answers here. It already says here, analyze the situation. All right. Someone said here, plan for evacuation. Okay, you cannot do that yet when there's fire burning in front of you, right? You cannot sit down and watch the fire and say, okay, let's plan our evacuation. You don't do that, right? When there's earthquake happening, you don't sit down there, okay, let me see how I can plan the evacuation. Correction is immediate solution to a non-conformance, okay? Now, after you have addressed the non-conformance, that's when you do root cause analysis. Okay, the Sir Joben here mentioned about plan for evacuation. This is already about planning. This is about root cause analysis already. Planning is actually corrective. No? So you have to go through the correction first before you proceed to corrective action. Ma'am R.S. Hiron mentioned analyze the situation. Okay, as I've said, while the fire is already burning, you cannot sit down there and analyze the fire, right? That's going to be funny, right? Like there's already a big fire. Ah, it's getting big. Okay, where is this coming from? You don't do that. You need to do correction first by putting it off, use the fire extinguisher, and then go to the second step of the corrective action reporting. And the second step is the root cause analysis. So this is where you actually analyze it. All right. So is that clear? So I hope that's clear. So now that we have addressed what is correction, we have defined what is correction. The next thing that we're going to do here is to analyze it. Okay, so this is where the analysis comes in. And let me just share with you a slide here. Let me switch off. Let me go to the other slide. So the analysis basically comes in next after you have, of course, corrected it. So this is a sample corrective action report. Let me share this with you. So as you can see, if you don't have any forms yet, you may do a screenshot. Go ahead and you can use this as a guide. So this is a corrective action report. All right. Now just fill in the details right here. Okay, fill in the details right here. So of course, date, corrective action number, what's the process, where did you find the nonconformance, and then maybe you found the nonconformity from the internal audit, and what's the classification? Is it major or minor? Okay, so feel free to take a screenshot right here. And let me just show you the correction part here. Okay, so now you write here the nonconformity right here. What's the nonconformity? Okay, and then you write here the correction. Let's say the nonconformity was that, okay, there was fire that broke out. That's the nonconformity. Describe it there. Our correction is use fire extinguisher, right? Okay, we're clear with that. Now, the next step here, there is the investigation and root cause. So this is where the analysis comes in. So now you need to analyze. So you do a root cause analysis. And the question here is that how do you do root cause analysis? Again, this is just an example. This is the most fundamental root cause analysis tool that you can ever have, the 5 whys. There's so many root cause analysis tools, by the way, all right? So here you can use 5 whys. So you have to ask why 5 times. Why was there a fire? Because maybe there's a flammable liquid there and someone was smoking. And why was there a flammable liquid in the conference room? And then how come someone is smoking? Well, because we don't have any storage area and there's no policy on no smoking here. Why is that the case? Because there's no planning. You see, the drill here is about really getting into the bottom of the issue. Let me show you another example on, let me see, I have another example here on 5 whys. Okay, this one. Okay, so this one. So, but before I go to that control of non-conforming outputs, let me show you this example. So for example here, a flat tire. Let's use 5 whys, all right? I'm also always asked this question, Sir Jong, does it always have to be 5 whys? Okay, very good question. I never thought of that. You can actually ask, the answer to that question is it depends, all right? For as long as you believe that you already have stumbled upon the root cause, then you can stop asking why, all right? So having said that, you can actually just simply ask 2 whys or 3 whys or 4 whys or even 100 whys for as long as you believe that that's the root cause already. For example, I'll show you this example. Here in this example, let's say there's a flat tire, all right? That's the nonconformance. So the first question is, why did you get a flat tire? Of course. And the answer is you ran over nails in your garage. Okay, then we'll ask the second why. Why were there nails on the garage floor? Okay, so the answer is, the box of nails on the shelf was wet, the box fell apart, and nails fell from the box onto the floor. Okay. And then we'll ask another why again. 5 whys. Why was the box of nails wet? Because there was leak in the roof and it rained hard last night. And so we said, okay, the root cause is the leak in the roof. Now I'll ask you this question. You can say your thoughts in the chat box. Do you think this is the root cause already? Do you think this is the root cause? I'll wait for your answers. No. Okay. From Mom Giselle Eve Zelada, no. All right. From Mom Daphne Del Mundo, no. Okay. From Mom Det, no. Okay. So there you go. So I think you know that this is not yet the root cause. Sabi ni Ma'am Giselle, the root cause is the hole on the roof. Sabi ni Ma'am Vivian Abueva, no, not yet, not the root cause. All right? I completely agree with all of you. Lack of maintenance, according to Ma'am Vivian Abueva, is the root cause. So if you stop here and solve the problem by sweeping up the nails, you would have missed the root cause of the problem, right? So common sense would say that, hey, maybe there's something more into this. Why was the roof leaking? So you can continue your discussion, all right? So I hope you can see this, okay? Sabi ni Ma'am Giselle, and the rain. Let's blame the rain. The rain is the root cause, and there's nothing we can do about it. I like your perspectives on a beautiful Friday morning. Very nice, very engaging. So keep it up. So you see, so the second part in the corrective action reporting is the analysis part. You don't do the analysis while the fire is burning, all right? So you put it off first with a correction. That's the fire extinguisher. The second step is you analyze it. Now you gather your team. What's contributing to the problem, okay? Now, I mentioned about gathering the team because you may also do this as a multi-functioning activity. So involve as many functions as possible so you can analyze the problem even better. Okay, so that's how you operate the 5 whys. Let me give you another example here, just for us to really appreciate this 5 whys. This is another example. So let's say the nonconformity is the leak on the floor. There's an oil leak on the floor. Okay, that's the nonconformity. What is your correction here? All right, so your correction, of course, is to remove the oil. That's the correction, immediate, right? Immediate solution to the problem. Now you go to the second step of the corrective action process. This is when you analyze it. Why is there a leak on the floor? So maybe the why? So maybe you'll say because the machine is leaking. There's something wrong with the machine. Okay, there's a leaking in the machine. And then you ask again, why is there a leak on the machine? Well, because maybe the part is faulty. Okay, we need to maybe change the gasket or that ring right there. And why is the ring faulty right away? Well, because the quality is just not as good. All right. Why is the quality poor? Well, because we purchased the cheapest product. Why did we purchase the cheapest product? Well, because cost is the supplier selection criteria. Okay. So now, maybe that's your root cause. Maybe you need to analyze again, or you need to recalibrate again the criteria for your supplier selection so that you can eliminate this oils on the floor nonconformity. Did you get that? So if your approach here is just to sweep or swipe the oil from the floor, you're not solving the problem from the root cause. Did you get that? Okay. So, okay, there are more inputs here. From Ma'am Giselle, result of public bidding. I like that. Correct, Ma'am Giselle. Or poor bidding, selecting the cheapest one. I don't want to comment. All right. So now you at least you understand the process here of the analysis part. From Sir Rayson Ruiz. What if the answer of the first why is just you ran over nails, but you don't know where you got it? Okay, figure that out, Sir Rayson. you have something to figure out today. Okay. What's important here is you know how this process works. So you can either use the 5 whys, or you can even use other tools like the fishbone diagram, the 4 types of problem, and a lot of other tools that you can use for root cause analysis. Let me share you another tool, by the way, because now we're talking about tools. Okay, so there's another tool here that I'd like to share with you, because this might be really simple tools only. No? So let's take a look at solving these problems where we involve as many players or as many teams as possible. For example, this is another form. So again, what we do with our projects is that we assess again the complexity of the organization, the complexity of the process. Of course, it's a simple problem. We can use 5 whys, or you may also do this root cause analysis action plan. All right, my friends, we're still in the second part of the corrective action reporting, which is root cause analysis. So you can do a more in-depth root cause analysis. When did it happen? All right, instead of just simply asking the 5 whys, okay? Instead of just simply asking the 5 whys. Or where did it happen, okay? So you can add, these are guide questions. You may feel free to take a screenshot, by the way. Why did it happen? So define the steps in the process, okay? And what were the special cause factors? What contribute to the incident, to the nonconformity? So you may take a look, you may want to take a look at the all of these factors. Maybe there may be personal issues. Maybe, you know, it's behavioral, all right? They just forgot to fix the roof because nobody was really paying attention, okay? Equipment issues, maybe environmental issues. What about other factors? Maybe human resource issues. So now this one is a different approach. You're not just simply asking 5 whys, okay? I'm showing you 2 tools that you can use to attack different sort of nonconformities, whether it's a simple problem or a complex problem. So obviously this tool, you can use this for even more complex nonconformance, okay? And then you can continue the analysis. Okay? You can also check on information management issues. What about environmental concerns? What about risk? Maybe there are risks already before that we just ignored it. We already it already showed signs that there's something wrong with the maintenance of the building, and then we just, you know, ignored it. So what about management issues? What about internal communication? Maybe we already have or requested for maintenance here, but it didn't, you know, went through the proper channels. Communication issues, uncontrollable issues. Is it out of our control, and so on and so forth. So so you can populate this data again, all right, and of course you'll get as many insights as possible, so that you really get to the bottom of the answer here, of the problem here. Sorry, let me go to the group again, and okay, now it's buzzing. Okay, from Sir Ramon. Why are you laughing when you know there is something wrong in the process? Oh, yeah, do not do that. Fix the process right away, all right? And assess the risk and impact. Risk assessment and business, yes, of course. And can we use the PESEL tool in determining special cost factors? Absolutely. Okay, so PESEL is political, economic, social, you know, technological, legal, and environmental. And from Sir, why is the guidelines of who is being questioned? Okay, now that's a very good point. You can never ignore the human factor. Okay, you can never ignore the behavioral side of it. All right. Now there's actually another tool here that it summarizes the nonconformities into only 4. All right. Please take note of this. This tool is called the 4 types of problems. So I'm sharing you the 3rd tool. The 4 types of problems. So nonconformities, according to these 4 types of problems, can actually be categorized into 4 only. The first one is information handling. There's a nonconformance because of the way the information is handled. Maybe there's wrong information sent, wrong information processed, then wrong information received. That's information handling. That's the first type. The second type is what we call tangible in nature. Yeah, tama po, Ma'am Annie, miscommunication. The second type, or the second root cause or cause of problem, is tangible. What is tangible? There's a nonconformance because it's procedural, it's process related. There's something wrong with the process. The process is just designed to create nonconformities. Did you get that? If that's the root cause, then by all means you need to redesign the whole process. All right? Not, you know, do something about the communication, because the issue here is the process. The third type is intangible. So if there's tangible, there's also intangible. Intangible is about now the system, okay, the system, or the plan, or the strategy. So that explains why it's intangible. All right. So meaning the system is designed to create nonconformities. Oh my goodness, that's awful, right? So meaning the problem is systemic. The system is designed to create nonconformity. So if that's the case, you need to redesign the system, not the process. And lastly, my friends, is behavioral. All right, behavioral meaning it has something to do with the way process owners behave. Okay, so those are the 4 types of problems that you can use to further analyze your root cause. Okay, so I've shared with you here the 5 whys, the root cause analysis action plan, and then of course the 4 types of problem. All right. I hope you are all learning in this exercise. Okay. So now let me go back to the slide again. So assuming that you already have identified your correction and then you already have analyzed it. All right. So again, 8.7 is control of non-conforming outputs. So we have identified, we have corrected it, we have analyzed it, and then finally, the next step here is to correct it. This is where 10.2 comes in. All right, this is where 10.2 comes in. 10.2 now is corrective. 10.2 is corrective action reporting. Okay, so excuse me. So what I'm saying here is that do not go to corrective action reporting, do not go to corrective action planning unless you have thoroughly analyzed the root cause. Is that clear? So only then you go to the corrective action reporting once the root cause is clear. Most of us, when we do root cause, when we do corrective action reporting, we dive straight into the corrective action. Okay, so please go through the process. First, correct it. What's the immediate solution? Then analyze it. As soon as you have identified the root cause, then that's the time that you do the corrective action planning. All right. So I hope that's clear. Now, to just simplify this, because I have, it's 9:44. I have a few more minutes left, and so now to simplify the corrective action reporting. Corrective action now is just simply use the 5 whys. All right, this is my suggestion here. Just simplify it. Use the 5 whys. Well, the 5W. Sorry, not the 5 whys, but 5W and 1H. All right. What is 5W and 1H? 5W. What are you going to do? All right. Who is going to do it? All right. When are we going to do what? Okay. And maybe include why are we doing it? Someone in the chat box mentioned lack of motivation. Maybe you can mention about the why. When are we going to do it? Where are we going to do it? And lastly, H, how are we going to do it? So now you're talking about your solution, your permanent solution to the problem. It's like preventing it from happening again. So it's different from that of correction, because correction is immediate, it's temporary, while corrective is comprehensive. It should ideally prevent the nonconformity from happening again. All right. So as you can see here on my slide, on your screen, so this is corrective 10.2. This is now the corrective action. All right, corrective action. So take action to correct it. Deal with the consequences. This is now where you review it, analyze it. What's the root cause? Okay, and ensure that this will not occur again. And when you do this, by the way, you also need to update your risk assessment matrix. So the corrective action reporting will also affect your risk assessment matrix. So if you already understand risk assessment matrix, you need to revisit that every time you do a corrective action report. Is that clear? Because this one area we always overlook. Okay, go back again to your corrective, to your risk assessment every time you complete a corrective action report. So let me just go back to that overview again that I've shown you, so that you can see the PDCA cycle. Okay, so because I said right here, update the risk and opportunities as soon as you have conducted your corrective action report. So if we go back here, okay. Okay, let me go back to that this one. Okay, take note of this, right? Take note of this. So remember the plan, do, check, act cycle. So as soon as you have completed your, this is 10.2. Remember, this is corrective action reporting. This is the corrective action reporting, right? This is corrective action reporting. This is also involving RCA, root cause analysis, right? So you analyze the root cause. Once you're done with the corrective action report, you go back again to your 6.1, which is the risk assessment. So you need to update your risk assessment. Do not forget that, because after the corrective action report, you have analyzed, there are changes that you need to maybe do in the process, in the system, in the policy, or even behavioral. And that is how you continuously improve your management system. All right. So the processes, even the resources will be assessed again even the bidding process, ma'am. Yeah, we were smiling, we were laughing at it, but you may find this is an opportunity for you to really improve that. So once you have gone through this process, okay. So any questions so far? Any questions so far? What? Okay, there's a question here. What if the root cause is poor leadership within the organization? All right, just analyze it again. If it's poor leadership in the organization, what should be your solution there? All right, I'm not gonna give you solutions right now, so you figure it out. So what do you think are solutions? Okay, so because the corrective action reporting is about identifying what solutions are we going to do as well. Right? What solutions are we going to do? So now you have to generate alternative solutions. Maybe I need to also include in our future webinars PSDM. These are very good questions. PSDM. To answer your question, Ma'am Maria Estela Nacion, what if the root cause is poor leadership within the organization? We need another discipline for that. We call that PSDM, the problem-solving decision making, where it involves generation of different alternative solutions. All right. Analyzing the solutions and implementing the best solution. So we cannot just, pick out of thin air answers to questions like this, Ma'am Estela. It has to go through a structured process, okay? So where we need to have criteria in terms of impact to the organization, cost, impact to customers, risk, and so on and so forth. So that's a good question. Probably we'll take that into consideration in designing our future webinars. Maybe we can talk about PSDM, problem-solving decision making. So for now, this is how we conduct our corrective action reporting. Lastly, let me just go back to that form that I have shown you a while ago. So to complete your corrective action reporting, okay, in this particular form, all right. So we have done the correction. Okay, so first you write here the nonconformance. Maybe let's say poor leadership, if that's really the case. What's your correction? Okay, and then you investigate with the 5 whys or the root cause analysis plan, or maybe the 4 types of problem. You choose what's your tool, and then that's where you write your corrective action here. So now your corrective action is directly responsive to the root cause. It addresses the root cause. That's the only way for us to ensure that the nonconformity will not recur again. All right. So did you get that? So take note of the 5W and 1H, what to do, who will do, when are we going to do it, why are we doing it, where are we going to do it, and then of course, how are we going to do it. Make sure that there are specific dates, who's going to do it, prepared by the person responsible, and it's usually the auditees who write the corrective action reports, by the way, the auditees. It's reviewed by the auditor and approved maybe by the lead auditor or the quality management representative. The last step, okay, of your corrective action reporting is verification. So do not forget to follow it up. Follow it up, all right? Did it actually resolve the issue? All right? Did it actually prevent the nonconformity? Wala na bang sunog, in other words? Hindi na ba nangyari ulit yung oil spill on the floor? All right? So if that's the case, then you can finally close it by marking it here. On the contrary, if it's still recurring, oh my goodness, maybe the root cause analysis is not effective. Maybe they didn't really properly do the root cause analysis, like that example I've shown you a while ago. They stopped asking questions on the 3rd why. Okay, then what you're going to do is go back to the entire process again. Do a correction, do a root cause analysis, and finally draft your corrective action reporting. All right. So how about that? So I think that's all we have for today. And let me see if there are questions here in the box. If you have further questions or clarifications, let us know. And I hope you learned something about this very short corrective action reporting. There we go. Now they're so engaged. Yes, long-term solution. That is correct, ma'am. So again, short-term solution, long-term solution. Okay, let me just go back to that question from Luisa. Thank you for reminding me, ma'am Luisa. Again, Sir John, what's the difference between non-conformance report form and corrective action report form? Why are these forms separate? Okay, good point. Now, in some organizations, by the way, they separate the non-conformance report, okay, from the corrective action report. So a non-conformance report obviously contains the non-conformities. Okay, so these are the audit findings. We call that audit findings, non-conformities. So it lists all the non-conformities. While the non-conformance report while the corrective action report now is a process on how to correct these nonconformities. Okay, so again, this is just for ease of documenting two different set of information. The other one is list of the nonconformities, while the other one is a process on how to correct these nonconformance. Okay, so that's basically the difference between these two forms. And you may, by the way, integrate it into one form, Ma'am Luisa. So feel free to do that. The ISO standard doesn't say that, you know, this has to be separate, this has to be, you know, in one document. It's really your discretion. All right, so it's maybe for purposes, as far as your organization is concerned, on how to just properly segregate all this information. Okay, there's Edith Ramos. Thank you for your nice presentation. You're welcome, ma'am. Okay, from Ma'am Rosa, what's the difference between root cause analysis and latency cause analysis? That's a very good question. There's, by the way, what we call latency cause analysis, and maybe for some of you, you haven't heard of that. Latency is the human side of the root cause analysis, which I didn't include it here. No? So, but in the 4 types of problem, the last type, remember, is behavioral. That's latency, meaning the source of the problem is the person himself. So maybe we'll talk more about latency cause analysis later on. Manuel Rosa will go deeper into that. Thank you for that question. And any difference between risk assessment plan and risk? Okay, I think we ran out of time. Ma'am Reza will include that in our later discussion. So today our topic is just the corrective action report. So I hope this clarifies your questions on how to go about your corrective action reporting. Okay. And again, a small favor from you, if you can kindly like our Facebook page. Again, with this pandemic, we become vloggers. We become active in this channel. So we're building a community here. Please help us build a community of ISO practitioners. Go to the YouTube channel as well. It's AGF Consulting Group. You can actually view and check all the recordings. We're uploading recordings of these webinars right there. And there's also some bunch of ISO tutorials. And we're also running full courses, okay? Full courses, say 1 day, 2 day, 3 day courses. If ever you'd be interested to do that, please feel free to let us know, okay? So with that, I'd like to wish you all good health wherever you are. Good luck, Godspeed, and all the best in your practice of your ISO. Stay safe always, stay home, and stay tuned to our weekly webinars. All the best and have a great weekend. Thank you very much.